What? Oh, put other people's names on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Might as well
Adam's
just
coming
pictures
too.
on some. Okay. I'll put him near the bottom more.
User in your channel started recording.
You're listening to the iRacers Lounge podcast, where we discuss everything iRacing in a casual setting. Enjoy.
Welcome to the iRacers Lounge. I'm your host, Mike Ellis. iRacers Lounge is a podcast for the iRacer where we talk all things iRacing in a casual setting. Joining me are the usual characters, David Hall,
Hey, hey, hey.
Greg Hectus,
Hey, everyone.
Tony Groves,
Good evening, gentlemen.
and special guest Brandon Hayes Cattell.
Hey guys.
Hey, welcome. Well, thanks for coming on. So I'm going to jump on the first question, Brandon. Brandon Hayes Cattell, do you go by all three names, or is that just how it worked out on iRacing, or do you prefer Brandon Cattell?
Okay, so there's a funny story about that. A couple years ago, I just out of the blue decided to change my name on iRacing because I don't know, man. There was a ring to Brandon Hayes, and I thought maybe people will start racing me different. And I really wanted to troll Malik Ray a little bit, and kind of he got mad every time he saw my name when it wasn't just Brandon Cattell. So that was pretty fun for a while, and I just kind of kept it. It just kind of stuck around. But I go by Brandon Cattell, Brandon Hayes Cattell. It doesn't matter. Whatever you guys really want to call me, just Cattell. It doesn't matter.
Okay, very good. I've always thought about where that came from, so I wanted to ask. But let's go back to the beginning. What brought you to iRacing? When did you first hear the word iRacing, and then what did you do about it?
Honestly, my buddy Connor Babel, he's a longtime sim racer. He got me into NR2K3, and I met him on NASCAR 09, believe it or not, on old PlayStation 3 days. And he got me into iRacing, and I joined in 2010, and I made the World Championship Series in 2012, and history was wrote, man. I was hooked. He just introduced me. I didn't even know how to use a computer, to be honest with you. I was about 12 years old and had no idea what I was getting into, but somehow I ended up here.
All right, great. So you're currently in the Coke Series, and last year as well. But then you also had a run back in the 2013-2014 era, 11th and 36th in points. Tell us about that a little bit, and then what prompted you to get back in it?
Well, first and foremost, there's a lot of money on the line, and a lot, just really NASCAR's partnership with it now. How far NASCAR has come, and iRacing, to see how their relationship has grown over these last couple of years to really make what the series is now. It's brought a lot of people, not just me. It's brought others back. It's intriguing, to say the least. You see people that you haven't seen for years that are coming back. We always joke around that we see Bob Bryant and you think he's a oldie, but he's a rookie in the series. But yeah, it's just really the relationship NASCAR and iRacing have now. It's really kind of brought everybody into it, and of course the money doesn't. The money's not bad either.
Well, there you go. So looking at your racing profile on iRacing, winning percentage overall oval 16%, pretty good. And tell us what else you're racing. Where obviously you're in the Coke Series, but what else are you racing? What did you do in the off season? Is there any league or hosted?
Honestly, I kind of took a break. Went to Colorado, had fun there. But really, whenever I do race for fun, it's usually good old C fixed or B fixed or maybe the casual A fixed. I really like racing the fixed setups if they're pretty loose. I grew up on the old tire model back in 2012, so I was used to turning right to go fast. So whenever the car is loose, that's when I'm at my best. But yeah, usually a lot of the fixed stuff. I'll do some open every now and then if some of the guys on our Road to Pro team need help, or on the pro side, or even if we want to do A Open just to practice for the Coca-Cola races.
Okay, very good. Let's switch gears and talk about hardware, software. I mean, what do you got for wheels, pedals, monitors, VR? Do you run third-party software?
Right now, I just got a T300. Been using that for this season. Great wheel. I got the Club Sport V3 pedals, and they're pretty good. Like them a lot, but nothing special really. I run single monitor, no VR. I've tried VR at Alfala's house, but he and I only live like 15 minutes apart, so I've tried it there before, and he's got his triple monitors, but those are nice. But I've just kind of stuck old school for a while now. I haven't upgraded. My computer is decent enough to run iRacing, I can tell you that.
Well, there you go. And now you have the cameras on you as part of the Coke Series, and you also got to go to Charlotte to meet with iRacing and NASCAR. Tell us a little bit about what you saw on that trip.
Man, that was it was extraordinary. Just kind of the first thing you notice is just you're putting faces to all the voices that you've heard to all these years, and of course you've seen pictures of people, but it's different when you meet a lot of them in real life. For me, I've met a lot of sim racers before, just going to races and stuff, but to have all these people in one setting, it's incredible, because something special is going on, and you just know that you're part of something bigger than you've ever anticipated. So it was a really cool experience. Oh, sorry, that was my timer for this podcast, but but yeah, it was a really great experience.
Tell your phone you're late, but
Late.
there you go. So yeah, you're on the Clint Boyer Racing this year. I got picked up by a great team running with Brian Schoenberg there. Tell us about that, and tell us, have you got to meet Clint or talk to Clint at all?
I'll tell you what, I haven't got to meet Clint yet or talk to him, but I will be seeing him at Homestead in a couple weeks. I just got some hot passes, and we're going to go down there and see him. I live in Southwest Florida, so it's only about 2.5 hour drive, but I just got done talking to Brian a little bit ago, and he was at California this past weekend, and he got to meet Clint and talk to him for a little bit. So that was pretty cool to hear his experience with it. Clint's a really cool guy, and everybody loves Clint. He's rowdy, and I feel like if you know anybody about the drivers in the series, you know that Schoenberg and I we probably talk a lot. We probably talk too much. So we're perfect candidates for his team.
Well, yeah, I was thinking that too. I was thinking you guys are a good fit for him and his style. So, yeah, it seems to be working out. Let's talk about your season so far here in 2020. A 9th place and then 21st. How do you rate it so far?
Man, honestly, the super speedways are my strong suit. Not gonna lie. There was a couple races there for a couple years that I had 3 top 5s in my first ever restrictor plate races that I'd ever done in the series. And then the last couple races, I had some crashes, but I finally got a top 10 again at one of the super speedways. So it was nice. It was nice to have a good top 10 there to start out the season. I was actually more bummed out that I couldn't have had a better finish at California. I think with about 20 something to go, I had made it up to 4th, and I got some contact with Jeremy around. It was a little bit of net code, and my car kind of slipped the racetrack and bent something in the left front. And we just weren't right after that. But man, I was really bummed out. Not gonna lie, because I felt like we had a pretty good shot. But you know, things happen. We just got to move on to the next race. But I feel pretty strong about this season and how it's going so far.
Well, especially to have a good run going, you know, late in the race at California. I certainly noticed that you were up there before all that happened. So a good run. That's a good track to be good at, and that's going to, you know, bode well for you in the future, I'm sure. Let's talk about your other team behind the team, so to speak. We talked about Clint Boyer, but who works with you behind the scenes on the setup, the car? Do you have a spotter, a crew chief, that kind of thing?
Well, right now, I've been working with Slip Angle Motorsports for about almost 3 years now, I'd have to say. And they're really good people. We just partnered with ERG, and they're great. Everybody works together really good. We do the best we can on these setups with the limited amount of free time, especially with me because I have a little one. I'm a single father. It's really tough right now. I'm going to school and just everything's thrown at me right now. So I'm trying to prioritize everything at once. But you know, everybody on the team, they work great. I got Kyle Putz on my spotter stand this year. He makes great diecast, by the way, but custom diecast. But I've got Dustin Hall crew chiefing me this year. He's just the man. I've never had a crew chief, believe it or not, in these series races before. So it's been pretty wild to have one, and I didn't even have really a spotter up until now. So it's a whole different experience because everybody's taking it 10 times more seriously than they ever have, and it's been great. You know, it's well deserved. It feels.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, his diecast, by the way, we've talked about before. Like if you have one of these custom iRacing paint jobs, he can actually turn it into an actual diecast for a fee, obviously. So check him out. He's pretty cool. Putz, P-U-T-Z.
Yeah, Kyle's the man.
Yeah, okay, very good. Sounds like a great team. So to date in iRacing, what is your most memorable iRacing moment?
Man, you know, that's a tough question, to be honest with you. I'd have to go back to probably my first. You know what? Actually, my second Pro Series win, because that was a big day. 2018 Pro season, well, leading up to the 2019 World Championship Series, Coke Series season. I'd say I was about 5 points out of making the championship series for last year, and I really had to just go out there and really win the race or finish top 5. And we had a great setup. Matt Bontempi did a great job that week when he was still on our team, and just had a great group of guys just all working together. And we went out there and qualified on the pole and led the most laps, and we won that thing, man. It was one of those races that I'll never forget because I had to do my absolute best, and it was my home track, Homestead. It was just one of those deals that you thought it was impossible, but somehow we made it happen, and it was one of the best. It was one of the greater sim racing accomplishments that I've had. Probably first to my Daytona Pro Series win, but it was definitely cool. And then even after the race, I kind of tweeted about it. I was super happy, man. And then I had Dale Jr. like my tweet and stuff, and it was a cool night.
Well, absolutely. It was a put up or shut up kind of moment, right?
Oh yeah, it was unbelievable, man. It was one of those races that you kind of replay it in your head, like you can't stop replaying it in your head because you remember everything, every lap, because you're so focused. And everybody joked around because I was on Slip Angle that season, and Ray had won the championship series for 2018, and he had to kind of put up and shut up, and or put up or shut up and win that race over Luza, and slip angle, we had to do it again. So it was pretty cool that we both won the Pro Series races the Homestead races that year.
All right, very good. We got a listener question, Facebook Live. Mark Creighton asked, tell him we want to know how he feels about Doug Coby's comments about the iRacing drivers. He's referring to that time where you guys were getting all the attention in Charlotte, and the real short track drivers didn't quite like that.
Oh man, that's tough. It's one of those deals, man. It's just it's a tough thing because you want all those short track, those people that you want those to get attention, but at the same time you're an iRacer and you want to get attention too. I wish there was some middle ground, where both people could get sponsorship deals and the attention they deserve, and hopefully it'll happen. But it was one of those things that kind of shook the sim racing world for sure, because everybody was it was unexpected. It was we're just out here, we're just having fun doing our hobby, and we were just kind of blindsided. But no disrespect to them, because they want the best out of their opportunity too, and they want deals like we've gotten and like some of the same stuff. But hopefully that'll come. It's just a weird thing. You don't really see that.
Yeah. And I always say on that situation, Doug Coby, you come race with us, and you have the same opportunities as Brandon Cattell does.
I always look at, believe it or not, I always look at Josh Berry. He was one of those people who sim raced a lot, and he gets it done out there, racing late models each week. And there's certainly a lot of people that come from sim racing. They can get it done. And I mean, if you can market yourself playing a video game, and there's a lower risk of getting hurt, or the cost is down, go ahead and do it. Man, if you're having fun while you're doing it, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
All right. Well, I hope you know that Ashton Crowder was on our show, and then you guys went out, and then he won, and now you're on our show. And so Homestead is next. How do you feel about Homestead?
I can tell you how I feel about Homestead right now. Homestead is my favorite track, hands down. Always will be my favorite track. And this kind of package that we have, like I said, I'm really good at drafting. I really like the restricted plate, kind of deals that we used to have in the day before it wasn't, before we got the tapered spacers and all that stuff. But I'm good at that racing, and I feel like with me being so good at Homestead, it can pay out either way if the track's loose or the track has a grip and we're drafting the whole time. But I feel pretty good about my chances. We have a great setup team going on right now, great group of guys, and we're just really excited to get there. We had a great run going at California last week. I can't tell you how excited I am right now. That's my track, man.
Yeah, and the 3-week break, it's kind of hard to keep up the momentum, but good luck to you at Homestead. You're P11 in the points. Man, I'm going to be pulling for you because I want the streak to continue. If you come on this show, you win in the Coke Series. So let's keep that going.
Dude, I'll come on the show every week.
Well, there you go. You're welcome back. And all right, so thanks for coming, Brandon Hayes Cattell. Tell us how people can follow you. I see you have the Twitter at Brandon Cattell, but are you on the Twitch or anything else?
Is recording.
Right now, I don't do much Twitch, but I'm gonna start getting into it.